and welcome back to the Being Grounded podcast. We are on a mission to help you redefine success, become the best version of yourself, and find peace in this fast-paced world. Hi, my name is Molly.
And hi, my name is Fleur.
And in today's episode, we really want to talk all about something which I have been seeing a lot over social media recently, which is relationship standards. Now, when I say relationships, I don't just mean like romantic relationships. I mean all of your relationships, all of them, your friendships, your family, your romantic ones, like even the ones with yourself, like all the different types of relationships in your life. I've been seeing a lot about standards, and we want to talk about it not necessarily from a rules like these are my 5 friendship rules, these are my top 5 dating rules. No, not like that, but just things that we hold of high value and high regard in our relationships, things that we really value in those.
Okay, so we're going to be splitting this episode into 3 sections. We're going to be talking about family, friends, and romantic relationships. So let's get straight into the episode. So the first section, like I said, we're going to be talking about family, and this is arguably one of the hardest parts of your life to set boundaries and to set standards with, because your family have known you your entire life. And so if you've gone a massive chunk of your life not having a specific standard or boundary, and then all of a sudden you wake up and you go, actually, don't call me that, or actually, I don't want to talk about that, they're going to be confused. But that doesn't mean that it is impossible. It's hard, but it's not impossible. For example, I have a very specific boundary. I don't like name calling, and that's not just for family, that's friends, and that is also very specifically for romantic relationships. I just don't think it's respectful.
I think it's just a natural thing that we all have, even though it's very niche to say. I think it's just a general standard we have. No one likes to be called not nice names, right?
Well, you say that, but then I have been in a lot of places in my life where I've had connections with people who have thought that name calling was very normal, and that was just like that's how I should treat that person. And I think that it depends on how you've been brought up, it depends on your environment, it depends on your family. Like, it's very easy to think that it's okay to do those things if that's what you've been around, but regardless of whether it's okay or not, if that is not something you are happy with, it's your choice to set that boundary. And I say with family because it's not just family. It could be friends. It could be romantic relationships. But also with family, they think that they can get away with anything because they are your family. And at the end of the day, in their head, it's like, I can treat this person as bad as I want because what are they going to do? Like, run away? Like, they're my sister, they're my brother, they're my daughter, they're my mom, they're my dad, like whatever it is. You think that with that entitlement, you can just treat that person however you want. But in my opinion, when I at least have my own family, when it comes to my husband and my kids, we should all be treating each other with equal respect. Equal, and that means I think that children shouldn't be told to only respect their elders and to not receive that respect back, because I've, grown up in this idea where it's like children should be quiet, blah blah blah, and I think that personally that's not respectful of children. And I think that when I have my own children, obviously I'm not going to let them like disrespect me, but I will have that like balanced respect.
Let's have an opinion
where it's like my opinions matter, but so do theirs, and so does my husband's, my invisible husband, but you know what I mean, like the family I will one day have, we should all equally respect each other, because I think that respect really matters in a family. And you can't love one another and support one another and understand one another if you don't have that foundation of respect, and if you don't have that foundation of knowing that I can share my thoughts and opinions if I want to, because they're valid and I'm valid. So if there is something that's bugging you with the way that someone is treating you, if you're not happy with something, it's your decision and your choice, and it has to be, to bring it up. If you don't, how can you think that they're going to know? And that's for any given situation. And if you do and they say, well, no, because you've never had that boundary before, so why should I respect it now? Why should I care about it now? It isn't their right to say that to you, because it's your standard. Now, if they came along and set a standard for themselves and then you didn't respect it because you hadn't known them to ever care about that standard before, then you would be in the wrong, because you should be respecting it. It goes both ways. Like, I might say like, oh, other people should respect your boundaries, but then you should also respect other people's boundaries. And if you don't respect other people's boundaries, you can't expect them to respect your boundaries. But if you are respecting other people, how do boundaries work with you and your family?
I am very grateful because I do have a family where we are very open. I've always had that type of relationship with my parents where it's a very open relationship, which I really like. However, I suppose it is boundaries that I personally set. And to be fair, I think I've always been very big on my boundaries, especially since I was younger, hence why I've never really felt the need to set this particular boundary that I have with them, because they just automatically know, like, oh, don't talk about Molly's business. That's probably my thing, is if I tell, and I see it all the time where people will go to their parents, kids will go to their parents and tell them something confidential, and next thing you know is that parent has gone and told all of their friends' kids, everyone, right? Everyone now knows about, this particular, their kid's business, right? And to me, I think that's so wrong. And that's always been something, and luckily my parents have never been like that, because they obviously know, A, that I don't like it, and B, they're just not like that. So I think that's probably been my biggest boundary, and that's something that I'll always carry with me, as I suppose I have a very strong sense of privacy in the fact that I like my privacy. I like to have my own space sometimes, I like to tell people something confidentially and expect for like the whole world not to know, and I think that's probably my biggest thing. And I think, but because since I was a child, it's always been like, oh, don't tell anyone I've told you this, right? They just know, like, not to tell anyone about what I was feeling or going through, especially when you're younger as well, especially when you're younger and you're going through puberty and your body's changing and your mind's changing and you're just confused, like, you don't know what's going on. And I think it leads to more like crash outs or upsets or whatever it is, a lot more than when you get older. And some people will go and tell everyone, like some parents will go and tell everyone that, oh, like my daughter, she was crashing out and like she did this and that, and like in front of them as well. And I think that's so humiliating, I don't see the need for it. I think that's probably my biggest thing. Like I said, luckily I've never had to struggle with actually setting that boundary, like putting it into practice, if you know what I mean, because like I said, my family aren't like that. But if it ever come to it, that's probably my biggest boundary. And I think that if you are the same as me and your family do overstep your privacy, they do overstep that boundary you have set, where you like things that you tell them to be kept confidential, and for it not to be spoken about to the whole world and their nan, I think that's perfectly valid. I think it's perfectly acceptable for you to say, look, like I've told you in private, can you please not go and tell everyone about this? I find it really disrespectful. It really hurt my feelings, and eventually it'll just lead to me not trusting you. Because if I told Fleur, for example, something, next thing I know, like I'm speaking to some random person, this random person knows, I don't know, this thing I've told her in confidence, I'm gonna be like, oh, like, okay, well, I clearly can't trust her, because if I've told her this, do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like, if I've told the person something in confidence, and then you go and find out from everyone else, this person has spoken about you. Sorry if you can hear hoovering right now. I think my mum's hoovering, so just ignore the noise, okay? Anyway, as I was saying, so really, I think it just comes down to building up to a lack of trust. And ultimately, especially if you live with your family, you want to live in an environment where you trust them. You want to be able to live comfortably, like living in a hostile family environment is just horrible. Like, you don't want that. So I think setting that boundary and saying, look, like, I don't want to have to not trust you, but if you keep telling people my business or overstepping that privacy that I have, then it's gonna end up me not trusting you. And I think, again, family relationships, family dynamics is so complex, because it's not even like you can just cut them out your life. For example, if your friend kept talking about you behind your back and telling everyone your business and yada 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 yada, like, of course you're gonna end up not trusting them, and it's very easy for you just to be like, look, this friendship's not working out for me, goodbye. Especially when it comes to like your mothers as well. We're actually biologically attached to our mother, and so of course by natural disposition we don't want to have to cut them off. We don't want to have to be able to we don't want things to be bad. We don't want things to be hostile between that type of family relationship. So I think it's very important just to sort of say, look, like, yada yada yada, I'm not really feeling, like, I don't understand why you told everyone this, I'm not really feeling it, can you please not? And I think that's just a perfect, healthy way. And especially if you've had a very open relationship as well, where you feel you can communicate that, then I think Bob's your uncle, like, happy days. Just because they're your family doesn't give them entitlement into dictating and telling you how you should feel or how you should not feel. If you feel that way, if a family member has made you feel that way, then you're perfectly valid and entitled to have an opinion or to say something. So yeah, I think that's probably what I would say on this. I think it's so hard because you don't want your family to fall out, you don't want to make things awkward, or especially if you live with them, like it's a complex relationship. For example, me and my brother will be fighting, arguing, next minute like we're best friends, but if that was that type of fight, not fight physically, but like that type of argument, if I had that with any one of my friends, I feel like the relationship probably would be a bit more broken.
Yeah.
But because it's your family, you just automatically learn to love each other, and it's like, okay, whatever, you know what I mean, we're just siblings, and then you forgive and forget, you just crack on. Because where you live with them, most of the time, you know them so well that it's kind of, it's just a very different, weird, complex relationship, isn't it, family? It's really interesting.
On to friends. That's the one that I have. Friends and romantic relationships. I have so much to say about
Oh my God.
But friends...
Where do we even begin?
I don't even know. Well, I would say when I was younger, I was a avid people pleaser. You could buy me as a doormat and put me outside your house. Like, I was a doormat. And we have several episodes of talking about people pleasing. So if you'd be interested in learning more about that, then we do have an episode on Spotify, I think. I don't know if it'll be on YouTube just yet. But people pleasing is something that I do think that at least 80 to 90% of the population, I don't know the exact statistics, but I'm sure like a big chunk of people suffer with people pleasing. And if you don't know what people pleasing is, without actually figuring out what the actual definition of it is on Google, I would personally say that it is when you prioritize other people before yourself and at the expense of your own energy and your own life. So, for example, pretending to like things that you don't like around other people because you want them to like you and you would rather have friends and not have anyone. Pretending to laugh along to the jokes that are being made about you, even though they're not funny and they hurt your feelings, but you're laughing because you don't want to be seen as serious. You don't want to be seen as dramatic. Being quiet instead of being loud because you don't want to be seen as this person with like a huge personality, so you would rather be mysterious, even though that's not what you're like at all. Or you're being made fun of for being too quiet, for being nerdy, for being this, for being that, but you don't say anything about it. It just looks like allowing other people to disrespect you and not doing anything about it and not defending yourself. And I went 19, 20 years allowing other people to disrespect me, and only in the past year, 2 years, maybe 3 years, I'll say like a year or two, have I really been like setting boundaries, not allowing people to just get away with treating me badly just because I love them more than I loved myself. And I think that at the end of the day, if you are okay with people disrespecting you, with people crossing your boundaries, with people crossing your standards in friendships, then that will be because you don't have that respect for yourself. So if you have standards that you wish that you'd had in your friendships, but you don't want to set them because you're scared of what they will think and you're scared of being alone, then you just won't have any. You'll be disrespected and you'll get on with it. And I did see this Instagram reel the other day, which basically said, I posted it on my story, it was something along the lines of, it's so much better to just be alone every single time rather than sit at a table where people do not realize your worth. And it's so true. If you have to be alone, and if you have to take time by yourself, and if you have to take time having no friends in your life, if you have to eat lunch by yourself at school even though you don't want to, if you have to hide in the classroom because you don't want anyone to see the fact that you're alone. I mean, I used to eat in the music rooms by myself. Like I've been there. Like it's better than being sat at a table with people that don't appreciate you, with people that don't see your worth.
Yeah.
There may be a specific time of your life where you don't have anyone around you, where you are alone. And in my opinion, you cannot find the right people for you, and you can't find the right friends for you if you don't spend that time by yourself. And it hurts to be alone. It hurts. But if you do not learn how to love your own company, how can you expect anybody else to love your company? And how can you expect to love anyone else's company? You have to appreciate your own company first. You have to love who you are as a person first. You need to see what you are like as a person first before you allow other people into your life. And that is why I spent a lot of my sixth form days. I mean, I had a partner at the time, so I was spending most of it with them anyways. But I didn't really have that many friends that I was close to in sixth form, because I'd realized at that point in my life that I didn't really have that many people in my life that truly saw me for me and that truly cared for me the way that I cared for them. And I decided to almost isolate myself. But like I said, I wasn't by myself. To be able to work on myself, to be able to see what kind of person I was. And little did I know then that none of that mattered, because I was in a relationship which wasn't good for me. I was in a toxic relationship, and so whatever progress I thought I had, whatever self-development I thought I was doing, wasn't really working. But regardless of whether it's working or not working, you're still learning and you're still teaching yourself, right? So it doesn't really matter. But you'll never know in that current moment whether what you're doing is enough or not. All you can do is try, and all you can do is stand up for yourself when you can stand up for yourself, and all you can do is be there for yourself when no one else is there for you. That's all you can do. And as long as you do that, then you don't worry about the rest of it. You will find the people that are right for you when the time is right. Like when I went to university and I met my best friend, and then I met some other people, and then I met Molly at a book signing event. Like everything comes in for a reason. We don't just
And here I am.
Exactly, like
Sorry.
Things don't just happen for no reason. You don't randomly meet someone for no reason. There are two people, if they were meant to meet, God will have made them meet. And you won't know the reason. You really won't. But if you were there at that same place, at that same time, at that same day, you were meant to meet. It's meant to happen. You're meant to meet that person. You're meant to be friends with that person. If I hadn't have gone to that book signing event, I never would have met Molly. And if I'd never met Molly, this podcast wouldn't even exist. And I know we keep saying that.
We would have 50 of you.
But it's just so crazy to me. Like, you'll find them in divine timing. And if you don't know what divine timing is, it's basically, how do I explain divine timing? It's like when everything is meant to happen at that specific time. Like it will happen in divine timing. There's not really a meaning for it. It's just a saying, like, divine timing.
Like God's timing.
God's timing, yeah. The universe's timing.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I really do think everything happens when it's supposed to happen. And you're supposed to meet who you're supposed to meet when you're supposed to meet them. And you know what, even to the point as well, I think that every single part of your life is planned. Like every single aspect, everything. Obviously I do believe in the concept of free will, absolutely, but you're still destined to do that thing, you know, like it's still written for you to do it. For example, like I had a choice today of whether or not I got up out of bed and, I don't know, did one thing or did something else. Whoever I was supposed to meet in this day, the lesson I was supposed to take away from this day is fated, like it's destined, you know. And I think that's such a beautiful way of looking at life, especially when it comes to friendships as well. It's about understanding that who is around you right now may not be around you in years to come, and everything is supposed to happen when it's supposed to happen. If that person isn't supposed to be, you know, these friends aren't supposed to be in your life for the next 5 years, they're not gonna be. If they're supposed to be, they will be, you know. Really and truly, everything happens as it should. And I think when you really realize this sort of lesson, you create such more beautiful relationships and friendships and everything in between, because you understand the principle that this person who is in your life may not be in your life forever. And it kind of allows you to respect yourself more. People in your life, the relationships that you build, when you understand the fact that they're very temporary and they're not going to last forever, you almost learn to respect your boundaries more, because you think, you know what, I'm going to set my boundary. Because, you know, like I think when you, basically the point I'm trying to make, because I realize I'm not explaining it in a very good way, is that, okay, if I believe this friend's going to be in my life forever and ever, and we're going to be skipping off into the sunset happily, and, you know, like we're living a life of the dream and everything, I'm not going to set a boundary. Or if they've done something that hurts me, I'm not going to bring it up, because I think, well, I don't want the relationship to end. I don't want us to fall out. I don't want to cause an argument. Whereas if you know that, look, if things are supposed to be temporary, they'll be temporary. If things are supposed to be forever, they'll be forever. I'm just going to state my boundary, because I want to build a healthy relationship. I want to build a healthy friendship. And That way you kind of respect and honor yourself and the relationship by setting a boundary, because you know it could or could not be temporary, if that makes sense.
I definitely agree. And that leads us to the third part of the episode, where we're going to be talking about relationships. And the thing is with family and the thing is with friends is that they don't have all the access to parts of you that maybe your romantic partner does. And I think that when you allow someone to disrespect you in a romantic relationship, you are allowing them to disrespect you at the core. You know, they know things about you that no one else knows, and they're probably, if this is someone that is disrespecting you, is using your past to haunt you and using your past against you. And I think that when we see the red flags early on in a relationship, you should believe them. Like, there's that saying where it's like, when you see someone's true colors, just believe them. And that's so true. Like, I wish I had known that in the past, because when I had been in that situation, I didn't believe it. Like, or I did, but because I had loved that person, I was like, it's fine, it's whatever. Like, I can just like move on and I can ignore it. But now my standards are so extremely high. I really respect it when a man has high standards, just as much as I expect that a woman would have high standards as well. If you do not have high standards, and if you have, like, for example, no standards whatsoever, it's very easy for someone to come along and be like, oh yeah, but you never said that was a problem, or like, you never said that I couldn't do that, or you never said this, or you never said that, you know, because you don't have those set rules. But if you go into a relationship and say, okay, for example, I'm not happy when you follow, I don't know, Instagram models online or something like that, you know, there's that kind of thing. If you were to say that to your partner and they didn't respect that, you would have to think, okay, do I really want to be in a relationship where something as small as this is not respected? Because if they really did respect you, I'm sure they wouldn't care.
They would, yeah.
They would just go and unfollow them and move on with their day, because, you know, they have a partner. They don't need that. Or, for example, if you say, I don't appreciate the name calling, if we have an argument with one another, please just keep a respectful tone. Don't raise your voice. Don't name call me. And they didn't respect that,
or shout or scream
yeah,
at
exactly.
you.
You'd have to think, okay, if they can't even follow this, if they can't even respect me for something like this, what will it be like when we have a family together? What will it be like when we have kids one day? Will they do the same thing to our kids? Like, is this a father figure that I would want, or is this a mother? You know, like, it goes both ways. It can also be said for women as well. If, for example, you say that you appreciate after, for example, with me, when I have an argument with a loved one, I'm not an avoidant, so I would rather fix it and sort it before we both go to sleep. Whereas I've been in cases where that's not happened and I've just been left to deal with it by myself, and it's never been sorted, and I felt extremely disrespected, because if they cared about me and if that care went mutual, like if that care was mutual and it went both ways, we would figure it out before we went to sleep. Like, in my opinion, unless like it needs to be thought on, that's different. But if this is like every single time you have a disagreement and you're both going to sleep without even sorting it out, there is something to be said about that relationship. Because I see those couples online, I mean, obviously it's not always going to be authentic, but like there are a lot of, like, there's a big portrayal of couples that will listen to each other, care about one another, fix it, say they love one another, hug each other, and go to bed. Like, it's as easy as that. Like, you don't need to go to bed mad. Like, life is too short to be mad at someone. Just fix it. Just sort it out. I mean, obviously, it's easier said than done. If it's a big issue, then that's different, and you're going to need time to figure that out. But if it is something, I don't know, small, which most of the time in arguments within relationships, it is small, and they don't even want to have the respect enough for you to be able to say sorry if they're the one in the wrong, or to be able to hear you out if you were the one in the wrong, and to be able to fix it so that you can both go to bed happy and satisfied. Again, that says a lot about the relationship. When you set these standards and when you set these boundaries with people, they can either disrespect it or respect them. There is no medium. And the minute that you try and trick yourself into believing that there is a medium, you are going to be hurting yourself in the long run, because you will disappoint yourself when you one day realize that this entire time there was no medium. They just simply didn't respect you. When you start making excuses for someone, when you start excusing their behavior to other people, when you start defending them when you know you shouldn't be, these are all signs that you're being disrespected, and you're just allowing it to surpass you. You know, you're just allowing it to happen. And this, again, all happens when you don't respect yourself. When you don't respect yourself as a person, You don't allow other people to respect you. You almost think that you don't deserve it. Like, I had a big chunk of my life where I didn't have other people respect me because I simply didn't believe that they should respect me, because I didn't respect myself. So I didn't expect other people to respect me. Did I deserve that? No. Did I deserve that disrespect? No. But because I didn't love myself, because I didn't care for myself, I didn't think anything of other people treating me badly. But when I've spent the past 2 years being alone and like really working on myself, not allowing people to come into my life if I knew they weren't right for me, being very strict with my standards, being very strict with everything, it's only made me realize that now, in the future, when I do have a partner, I will know that they're right for me, because I will have made sure that they're right for me, and I wouldn't have allowed red flags to just walk past without me worrying about it, just as I would hope that they wouldn't be settling for me either, and they would also be making sure to look out for any red flags in me as a character. It goes both ways. I'm not perfect. I don't expect them to be perfect, but if we don't respect each other, if we don't have those standards, there is no point putting in the effort. Love is not easy.
Wow.
In all forms, whether it's friendships, whether it's family, whether it's relationships. If you don't both put in the work, if you don't both show up, it won't work. If one of you is giving 80% and the other one is giving 20, it's not going to work. Obviously, there are going to be days where one of you is giving more than the other, but at the end of the day, a relationship is 50-50. It is always 50-50, and it always has to be 50-50, unless there are moments, like I said, where it isn't, where maybe someone is going through something, maybe they've lost someone, maybe they're struggling, and they are giving less, so you show up on the other end to give more. But if it's always like that, then again, that's a sign that that relationship is not serving you in the way that it should be serving you both. I have so much to say on this topic because
wow,
it's like I'm talking to my
Oh
younger
my
self,
God.
really. I'm just talking to my young self. I wish that she could hear it, and I wish she could know that she really did deserve so much better, but I never would have realized that until I'd spent the time that I've spent by myself and just reflected. As I've said, like, I really love self-reflection. I love being able to sit with myself and work on myself. Like I said, I'm not perfect. I have issues. There are definitely toxic traits about me that I need to fix, and not bad ones, but more like, for example, how I allow other people to treat me badly and don't do anything about it. That's a toxic trait. And it's like sitting down with myself and thinking, okay, where does this come from? Why do I feel this way? Why do I allow other people to disrespect me? Why do I walk past the fact that this is not good? And I really work through it. I journal. I think about all the things that happened in my past. I link them all together. It's like being Sherlock Holmes. You're being a detective, but for yourself. And when you really put that time and effort into yourself, other people will see that. They'll see you. They'll be like, oh, wow, this is someone who really cares about themselves. This is someone who really puts a lot of work. They're hardworking. They care about themselves. They care about their family. They care about their friends. Wow, I want to be in their life, because that energy is so healing, and it will all work out in your favor. But it can only do so if you put in the work. Okay, that's my.
Do you know what?
That's my piece of cake.
Like, for everything you just said, like, oh my God, I'm just taking it all in. I really am absorbing it. And I think, wow. Do you know what? The one thing which I really thought about as you were saying this is, I really do believe wholeheartedly that the people who set boundaries and have standards for their relationships will always end up with the most beautiful and best ones.
Yes.
Not saying that, sometimes it might not end well, you might break up or whatever. That's fine, life happens. But I think that the relationship in itself will be beautiful, because
Respectful.
you, like Fleur said, respectful, that's it, because you wouldn't have letting things slide, like some relationships I look at and be like, how do you let him treat you like that, or like, how do you let her treat you like that? And it's because when it happens the first time, there's no sort of like, oh, I don't like it when you said that, can you please not say that,
You
or
just
can you
let it
please
pass
not do
by.
that, that hurt my, it just lets it off, and then until it happens again, until it happens again, and eventually it ends up leading to resentment. It ends up leading to just them treating you like shit, and that's not how relationships are supposed to be. Relationships are not, I like how I said this, I've never been in a relationship my whole life. but
it's like you
I'm gonna
see,
give my opinion.
you see for other people, and the way that I think of it is water under a bridge. There's this saying where it's like, there's just too much water under the bridge. We can't keep going because there's too much water under the bridge. A relationship is like a bridge. And for every hardship that you have with that person, the water is growing. And sometimes in toxic relationships, as it was for me, that water can drown the bridge and it can make it crumble and it can make it fall apart. And maybe there is someone who is holding on to that bridge for their dear life, and I was that person, or there is someone just swimming in the water going, bye, see ya. Just like, it doesn't care at all, and it's like very carefree, right? That bridge, even if there was too much water under the bridge, because I do believe there is redemption, even if there was, if you both don't put the time and effort into putting that bridge back up again, just leave it. Like, it's down now. Like the saying goes, there's too much water under the bridge. It's made the bridge crumble. And for a relationship to be strong, you have to both be putting in the effort to make sure that that bridge is stable and that no matter what, that water isn't going to grow further, because obviously, like I said, disagreements happen, so that water will grow, but you won't allow it to drown the both of you because you care about one another. There is that loyalty there. There is that respect there. There is knowing that you do not cross each other's boundaries. There is knowing that at the end of the week, you can talk about what you didn't like that had happened that week. You work together as a team. You're not against one another. The minute that you're against your loved one, whether it's a friend, family member, or a partner, that's when you know something is not right. You are not against them. You shouldn't be always angry or frustrated with them, or like Molly said, having that resentment there. If there is resentment there, then it's because something is going unsaid. It's because your subconscious is screaming at you to get out. Love is not meant to be torture, okay? It's not meant to make you feel like, they say love is hard. Love is hard. It is. It's really hard. But it's hard and it's rewarding at the same time. Love is beautiful. That's why I'm a lover girl. I love my romance books. I love my romance films. I love love so much. I really do. And I love it when it happens to me. But like, when it's right, not when it's wrong. Not by forcing it. Not by hoping for it. By understanding that within divine timing, it will come when it's meant to. And you will meet the right person when you're meant to. And that it will all fall into place when it's meant to, that it's not meant to be torturous, that it's not meant to have you lose a part of yourself, that it's not meant to make you feel alone, that it's not meant to make you isolated from everyone else.
If it's not reciprocal, again, you're in the wrong place,
Yeah.
Like, it should all be reciprocal. You should both have mutual respect, And I think that's what really is, yeah, wow. You're very wisdomous. I mean, I can tell you my standards, like, that I'll have, like, things I would expect. Okay, number 1, fresh flowers every single Friday.
Why Friday?
Number 2, there's no I don't know.
Just every single Friday. That's so funny.
Yeah, every single Friday. Number 2, yeah. I don't even care. If you can't afford it, go and pick them from the grass. Number 2, yeah. There's no 50-50, like, first date, yeah, you're paying. Every date you're paying.
Every day you're paying.
Oh, also, chivalry. If the guy does not hold the door open for me, I'm walking around, I'm leaving, respectfully. Like, can you imagine a guy asks out on a date, doesn't even hold the door open? Get out of here. You're literally a boy. That's not a man, that's a boy. Goodbye. Like, all these types of things, yeah. I think I'm very big on chivalry.
Yeah, I am as well.
Has to get on with my family. I feel like I should not be telling everyone this online.
No, but they're like good standards. Mine are like slightly more lenient, only because I've been in a relationship, so I know how it works. I'm not like, you have to get flowers every week. Because I know realistically that's like, they might not be able to do that. However, flowers, yes, I love flowers. Whenever they can get them for me, yes. Like, flowers for no reason. Roses, like, no reason roses. Flowers. I don't like, not just flowers for occasions. No reason flowers. I wouldn't know because I've never received flowers for no reason. I've only received flowers for like a specific reason.
Occasion, yeah.
So that would be like my first like, if someone just randomly got me flowers cause that would be like my first time experiencing it, and I probably will definitely cry. The whole like paying for dates, I can understand, but when I'm in a relationship, I don't mind. Like, maybe, okay, my stance on this, and I had a whole conversation with it, is that whoever is asked to go on the date is the one that should pay. arguably. So if I asked, then I expect myself to pay. But if I asked, I wouldn't expect the other person to pay.
No, I disagree.
But this is just the thing for
why
me.
Are you paying on a first date?
No, but if I asked for the first date, it only makes sense for me to be the one to pay for it. Otherwise, it's just expecting too much. But if they asked for it, then of course I would expect them to pay. Like, that just makes sense, right? However, if I go in expecting nothing, I can't be disappointed. And again, that's another one of my toxic traits. It's like, I'm still working on that, where it's like, I need to stop thinking that way. But yeah, I would expect my partner to pay if they're the one that asked. And then running on within the relationship, I would be fine with paying when the time was right. Like 50-50. Like, as in, sometimes I pay, sometimes you pay sort of vibe.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Chivalry, like gentleman, yes, that's all I'm gonna say.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Oh, and also get someone through my family as well. I mean, if my family don't like you, then I don't know, there must be a problem. Literally, that's what I always think.
They always know.
And if there's something wrong with the guy, like if my family don't like you, there's something wrong. And also just the fact that I'm a very family body and I want to have that nice family time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I suppose someone that prioritizes, I don't know, I feel like when you find out your love languages, I think all of my love language.
What's your love language?
All love languages are all of them.
No, but you'll have one. You will have one. Have you done the test for it?
Let me just have a look.
My love language. What do you think my love language is?
Gift giving.
You think my love language is gift giving? Think again. That's the last one.
No.
Come on. What do I put above everything else in my life?
Quality time.
No. That is a big one, but no.
What are the other ones? I don't know what
Come
they
on,
are.
think of what am I? What do I do with my spare time? What am I always doing?
I love a girl.
That's not... Let me go through them. The love languages. Words of affirmation.
Oh, that one!
Yes. Gift giving.
I forgot what they were.
Physical touch, quality time, and acts of service. So my top 3 were words of affirmation, I think quality time, and I think gift giving was one of the last ones. Like, I really do appreciate, like, gifts, but if you wrote me a letter, oh my god. If you wrote me a letter, I'm marrying you. I love letters so much.
I can't wait to marry you.
Yeah, you sent me a letter. I nearly cried. You don't understand. A letter in the post, or just a letter that anyone's given to me. To know that you sat down and physically wrote something to express your love for me, that's all I want. I'm so easy to please.
I sound like I'm in love with you now.
Yeah, Molly sent me a letter in the post to say that she was proud of me, and I was so happy. It was really sweet of you. You don't understand how much that means to me. But I am a words of affirmation girly. I would say you are probably gifts. I would say you act like gifts. Gifts and maybe quality time.
Are those mine?
I feel like, but you'd have to take the test. And I think that anyone that's listening to this should take the test, because then you would know what to expect. Because now for me, I know I can't go into a relationship with someone that isn't good with words. Of, you know, like someone that isn't good at communicating. Communication is my most and main thing that I care about in a relationship, because words of affirmation is my love language. If someone is not good at communicating with me, I'm sorry, no. Like, you could be wonderful, but no. And
even in friendships, as though you're very good at communicating.
That's why everyone says I'm very good at communicating, because that's how I love through my words. I love through my language.
That's your way. It's very interesting, isn't it? I feel like I need to do a test now. But do you know what? I think I love a man that buys me things. So I think...
I love you. I do also love gifts. I love the nothing gifts. I'm just thinking about I saw this today and I thought of you. Yeah, that's cute.
I do like gifts, right? But I think as well, I love quality time. I just love spending time with people, you know? Like, it doesn't matter. You could... Like, for example, me and you, if we were just... I know obviously it's different because we're friends, but I suppose it also applies as well in friendships, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think the most valuable thing I find is just spending time with you. Same with all my friends.
Yeah, it does go for friends as well. Like, it's a love language for everything, so that when people write me cards or letters, that's, like, where I'm, like, made the happiest. Like, when people put the effort into doing that, I'm the happiest. And that's how I've noticed I love other people as well, always with like writing physical notes. Like, for example, with my best friend, I always like leave notes for her outside her bedroom, or like I used to write her cards when I knew she was coming up to her assignments. If someone's going away and I'm not going to be there for them, I always write notes. Like, note giving is like my favorite thing.
And I love that because, you know, I've never had a friend like that before. So I literally love it because I think I'm the same, and you brought it out of me a bit more.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Oh, you're better with your words, of course. Like,
We both are.
And all in my heart. I'm not very good at writing it out, but I think you've really brought that side of me out, that like romantic, poetic side.
Aww.
That was buried deep down.
Thank you. I hope to bring everyone out with that. Anyways, we are nattering. Our podcast episodes have been like very long recently. This is good though. This is an actual podcast episode, because ours are like usually quite short, like 20-30 minutes, which is mainly because of the video. But anyways, oopsie. I forgot I was about to actually end the episode. Before we do end the episode off, we, as a tradition, always state one thing that we're going to be doing this week to stay grounded. So this week, what are you going to be doing to stay grounded, Molly?
I think this week, to help me stay grounded, I really want to prioritize nourishing my body, you know, like with meditation and hydration and just good things for my soul and my body, you know, and just really look after myself. And I think that is how I find my grounding. That's how I find my spiritual connection, is when I'm pouring into myself. But what about you?
This week, to stay grounded, I'm going to work on my physical health. So I have notably lost weight because of being sick for 2-3 weeks and literally eating like a sick Victorian child. Like, all I've had for 3 weeks is bread and soup, and I've lost so much of my muscle and my weight, and I need to gain it back, and I need to go back to the gym to gain back my strength, because I still feel like a weak Victorian child been thrown out onto the streets. So work on my strength, work on my strength training, going back to the gym, eating nutritional meals, just snapping myself out of this like low era. I'm not feeling that way anymore. Bang, 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 let's go. Let's get started. Let's get into it. Let's get on with it. Let's go. Anyways, if you enjoyed this episode, then please subscribe to listen to more episodes. We will hopefully have normal videos like we usually do. But for now, if we can't sort out the video, we're just going to be posting the episodes on YouTube anyway, so that you can listen to them here. And we also have Instagram socials, which is under the same name, at the Being Grounded podcast. And we will see you next Tuesday at 5 p.m. Goodbye, my lovelies.
Bye.